Hello, it's your pal Quinn, and we're going to be jumping back into Don't Forget Our Esports Dream, the prequel to SC2VN. And in the last episode, we started the series, and now we're just going to be hopping back in at the same spot we were at before. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, no more fighting. We're friends here. Let's talk about something positive, something we all can relate to. Did you guys hear the new single from Vaccine? It's so good. Oh, the CAST is coming up. I'm exciting so hard. They say your whole life is determined by the score you get on the exam. What's that saying about how much sleep a Korean high schooler should get? Despite her best efforts, Minseo receives no answer. She looks ready to accept total defeat, but just when all hope seems lost, Young heaves a sigh. I'm done if you are. She's the one that lost, not me. You two might as well get back to your scheme. I came here to practice. Fine. We will, Minseo. If you see anyone walk in here, sense, I just realized that it's 5:30 and that I'm late for cram school. Bye, Jet, bye, Bolt. Your match was way exciting. I'll see you later. Minseo sprints out from our aisle and down the stairs. By the time the clerk peeks his head over to counter to chastise her, she's gone. Practice, huh? Then I want a rematch. A few games turns into a few hours of games, then a few more. Our matches are troublingly close considering how long Young has been on her own. Phew. My wrists haven't hurt like this in months. She leans back in her chair, massaging her forearm with a thumb. If you haven't been practicing KPGA hours, then how do you have you kept your mechanics in such good shape? Is that a compliment? Why, thank you, Seung Hwan. We done here? I don't want to miss the last line home. The PC Bang night crowds are always a little iffy. What was that about not caring about your image? Young does her best to ignore me, stepping to my side as we make our way to the stairs. The closest subway station is down to this alley and out the left. Don't need it. I'm nearby. Well, I do. Let me guess, Goshuan? For now. It's not so bad. Don't think about it as a home, but just a place to sleep and shower. That's how I manage. Damn, you too? How long have you been living like that? I'd rather not say. Young watches the ground in front of her. We turn left out of the alley with a bit further to go. So, gonna go abroad for school finally? Or maybe get your military service done? I'm not sure yet. I want to give myself a month or two to see if I can get signed first. You've given the perfect excuse to get out and you climb right back in. Only a Protoss could be so stupid. You're still good players, Young. You should join me. StarCraft is just a game for fun these days. I show my skepticism with a look. Young rebuts with just a bit too quickly. Really? I asked for practice just for old time's sake. Do what you want, but you still got the drive. And you still think you know everything. You'll be at that cafe tomorrow, yeah? With the subway tunnel ahead, Young cuts past me. But before she takes the first chair, she turns. Yeah, and my number hasn't changed. What you meant to say was, please call me sometime. I'm a bored and lonely girl. I watched Young descend the tile steps and turn down into the station and out of sight. First night at the CHB renowned team house wasn't the one I'd soon forget. That evening, just after I received my team jacket, I memorized the cracks and imperfections in the ceiling while my teammates turned and snored. When dawn came, I blinked away the pattern I etched into my eyes. The next night, sleep came easy. Practices did too. I thought that made me special. But I wasn't. Pressure from coaches and teammates pushes everyone past reasonable work hours. You don't want to be the guy practicing 10 hours when everyone else practices 12. Soon, the routine becomes habit. It remains challenging and mind-numbing, but life is simple when it's on the rails. I might never be as great as Locke, no matter how hard I practice. It's not just talent. Winning is the goal. It's a symptom of something bigger. Locke told me that everything like that is possible to learn. Even now, with all the advice and expertise he gave me, I know I have his faith. As long as I'm off the rails, I might as well enjoy wandering. Even as light begins to trickle through my window, I don't rise until I hear movement in the hallway. Students, expats, part-timers, and divorced salarymen. I dress and walk among them. Should be enough for 20 hours. The clerk sticks his hand forward, palm up. I drop a few thousand won into it. Get the monthly deal if you plan on becoming a regular. Not today, sorry. He shrugs and returns his attention to his newspaper. Minseo is the first to notice me. She waves an arm in my direction until Young yanks her back into her seat. Ow! Mean! You're drawing too much attention our way. Remember, I have to avoid detection for the plan to work. Oh, right. Sorry. 2 days in a row? You two put the hustle into hustling. Well, we have to make up for yesterday. What do you mean? You didn't pay me. We lost time. You shouldn't have beaten me with a rush build. Yeah, I'm sure you'd taken that way better. Jet stares me down before finally beckoning me to join the nearby station. Need any help? You wouldn't work as bait. Keep us company until we find our mark. I want to hear about life at the CHB's house. There's nothing special. Lots of StarCraft and little personal space. But I'll bet it was still a lot of fun, right? Late nights practicing, preparing for Team League. I get excited just thinking about it. Sometimes, yeah, but it's real work. Just ask Shay Young. But before she can, a scrawny middle schooler with a bowl cut jingles zone fire's door open. Mincio hurries to her feet, but Shay Young throws a hand at her. Not that one. Look, behind him. Got it. While Jet ducks out of view, I'm free to watch the familiar scene play out. As soon as he's paid for his PC, Mincio approaches the newcomer and strikes up a conversation. He's wearing a leather jacket. What a tryhard. Who cares? I just need him to say yes, even when someone turns Sio down. They always play StarCraft. Not sure with this one, how he's supposed to see his resources in the top right with hair like that in his face. You're being an ass. I sink back into my chair. How is Jet, of all people, chiding my manners? She's the BM one. Across the room, it looks like Mincio's got the wannabe punk on the hook. She trots off and picks a station separate from both of us and the challenger. The expected follows shortly. Jess hosts the game under Mincio's handle and crushes the guy in less than 5 minutes. From across the room, I watch him fume at his station. Victory in hand, Shay Young signals for Mincio to rise up and collect her winnings. Who's the bully now? Serves him right for thinking of her as a free win. Hey, that hurts. Please let go. What kind of trick did you pull on me? There's no way. I look to find the challenger with Mincio's wrists in a vice and rise to intervene. The punk trails off and catches me striding towards him. After I size up, he throws a sneer in my direction. I get it. This is some kind of trick. But I'm only gonna ask you once. But I don't get to ask once. Shay Young flies past me, teeth bared in her eyes, alight with rage, and whacks the keyboard over his head. Keycaps scatter across the floor, and he staggers away dazed. In the chaos, Mincio retreats away from him and finds a place at my side. The punk doesn't seem seriously injured, though judging by the way Jet's holding now a crooked keyboard, it's not too late for that to still happen. What the hell is wrong with you? You're crazy. My clan won't let you get away with this. He blinked through his pain, unable to make out exactly who had attacked him. Come on, are you gonna do something about it? Just let him go. It was only 10,000 won. I look across the room and see the clerk at his feet, searching for the chaos. We need to end this quick. Let him walk, Chae-Young. Jet tosses the keyboard aside without taking her eyes off him. The guy, still seeing stars, points vaguely in Jet's direction. Whoever you are, you'll regret this. Just you wait. When Chae-Young fails to react, the guy stumbles and stomps for the exit. It's only once he's out of sight and Chae-Young heaves a sigh of relief and turns to Mincio. You good? I shouldn't have smiled so much when I came up to him. He must have thought I was making fun of him. It's not your fault. Maybe we shouldn't do this anymore. Wait, it's okay. I'm fine with it, really. I'm living in the past until I put this behind me. It's time we stop hustling and move on to something else. That's not... I mean, we're still going to... If not this, then why else would you hang out with me? Why not learn StarCraft? That's what you really want, right? Mincio blinks once and rocks heel to toe on her school shoes. Well... Sure, maybe. We'll teach you. Better use of your time and hours. Her eyes flit from mine to Chae-Young's to seek approval. Sung Hwan has the right idea. It's past time you had some real instruction. You're probably right, Chae-Young. Okay, I'm into it. Mincio Kim, StarCraft superfan and superstar. Do we start right now? Don't see why not. If you're getting serious, no more random select. What race are you going to play? Protoss, Terran, or Zerg? I like all races, but I have to pick one, don't I? My favorite pro gamer is Terran, but wait, Jet is a Zerg. Bolt is a Protoss. You can always switch. Start with the race you think you'll have the most fun with. Mincio sways lazily, evidently debating the merits of each in her head. Okay, I pick Protoss. They look the coolest. What is it with juniors and Protoss? Ugh. Hey, if she picked Zerg, you would have to ZVZ her. You should be thankful. True, but I want you to be the one to play her so I can watch. Host up whenever you're ready. Also, pick Terran. Let's start off with some basic Terran macro. I'll make a few vultures and siege tanks and launch an attack. One, A, 2, A. Gah, I wasn't ready. Okay. Can we do NR 15 in the next game? No rush 15? 15 minutes before either of us are allowed to attack? People still do that? I have every right to refuse the sake for practice, but maybe I still let her try have a little fun. Sure. You got it. I'll play this slow and take a bunch of expansions. I'm sure that despite I've given her time, I have little to fear. And to the surprise of none, Mincio texts straight up to carriers and attacks her when her 15 minutes are up. Let's see if I can defend with the 3 Goliaths. Done. Her failure to micro makes it a simple task. Oh, come on! That always works on big game hunters. But she doesn't give up just yet. Mincio reinforces her paltry army and attacks again. 2A. But with a proper army this time, I make short work of her. With Mincio thoroughly tested, Jet steps forward. Let's call it there. Good try, Mincio. Not bad. You're about at the level I expected. Let's switch gears into some learning. Sun Huan, you think you would start teaching someone about Protoss versus Zerg? Probably with openings. PvZ is easy to lose early on the Protoss if you don't know what to do. The standard Protoss opening against Zerg is Forge Fast Expand. That means your first buildings are a pylon, forge, then a nexus. Using the forge to wall off the front and covering the wall with cannons makes it easy to defend your expansion. We do this because on most maps, Zerglings are hard to defend against without a wall. You know about +1 weapons, right? The upgrade that almost every Protoss player gets versus Zerg. Yep, you need a forge to upgrade +1 weapons. Right. So why do you think that's so important against Zerg? Well, I didn't know it was. Is it because you need a forge to make cannons? So you might as well upgrade +1 weapons anyway? Here's a hint. How many hits does it take for a Zealous to hit a Zergling? 2. I think it's 2. Doesn't it? Doesn't surprise me that you'd think that. Normally, it's 3, but with a +1 attack, it's 2. Zealots normally deal 16 per attack. With +1 weapons, they do 18 instead. And since Zerglings only have 35 hit points. Oh, that makes a huge difference, doesn't it? So, not only does the Forge let you build cannons to defend an early expansion, but it also gives you a powerful option to deal with Zerglings. Okay, I understand all the stuff you're talking about, but then how come I never see a Protoss just make a bunch of Zealots against a Zerg and win? The simple answer is because Zergs know how to beat that already. The full answer is a little complicated. You know about the term metagame, right? Yeah, I hear the commentators use it all the time. I don't totally get it, but I know it's something that's evolved over the years based on past strategies. The most dominant player's strategies and map pool determines the meta. A while ago, when Protoss used +1 weapons, zealot attacks to score easy wins, Zerg had to figure a way to deal with it. Modern Zerg builds can survive all +1 zealot attack. That wasn't always the case. The answers Zerg found to the dominant Protoss strategy that could also handle most other builds became standard. To give another example, right when StarCraft first came out, a Zergling rush always crushed the normal Protoss and Terran builds. Both races had to figure out a standard strategy to deal with a 4 pool, the famous Zerg rush, without crippling themselves in a longer game. So playing standard is like standing at the standard tennis course. You might not deal with someone as easily if you've been in the right spot, but you can get to every ball if you work hard. That's a funny way to think about it. And as pros develop the metagame, we're getting closer and closer to the truth of where the center of that court actually is. Ah, I feel so left behind. Why didn't I start playing StarCraft last year? Jaeyoung and I follow up the practice session with a few matches of our own for Mincio's benefit. She hovers behind us, watching both screens and asking whatever questions come to mind. Chet, how come you keep that overlord in the group with all your mutalisks? I have to do it if I want to stack my mutas. Oh, that's how you get them all clumped up. That's weird. Is it a glitch? I guess so? I don't really think of it as one. There are a ton of quirks like that in StarCraft. Patrol Micro for one. It lets us make a moving shot with certain units with an otherwise useless button. Those quirks are part of what makes StarCraft special. There's no way the developers intended for us to play it in the way we do. Without Korea, StarCraft wouldn't have been recognized as a deep and rewarding competitive game, especially 10 years later. And don't even get me started on the importance of Korean-made maps to keep the game balanced. Foreigners are a non-factor as far as I'm concerned, even if they did develop the game. Hello? Aren't you forgetting someone? One win against many. That's nothing for non-Koreans to brag about. Don't listen to Hoonwang. We simply took it farther than it was meant to go. With no sign of stopping, might I add. How can you possibly disagree? It's disputable that we have the best players and best leagues. Someone else would have found the mid-list starting trick if a Korean hadn't. Don't think that StarCraft belongs to. Jae-young's train of thought screeches to halt when I ambush our muteless flock with Corsairs. We call the practice session after Jet claws her way back to an admittedly impressively comeback so that Mincio can get to crammed school on time. Thanks, you guys. I'm so excited to play tonight after I finish my schoolwork. Calling it practice already? Try to trade like a game while you still can. Spending time with two pro gamers is rubbing off on me, I guess. I'm not. Never mind. See you, Mincio. Take it easy. Offer a lazy salute as she heads off, leaving me to contend with Jae-young and her scowl on my own. How can you be such a KPGA shill, especially after CHB Renown cut you? I'm only stating facts. Facts. Jae-young steps forward and strikes a pose reminiscent of old propaganda posters. I am Seung-hwang Lee. The Republic of Korea is the greatest country in the world, especially at StarCraft. Never underestimate Korea again. A shame you never gave any ceremonies. A shame you'll cry when I chop you. What's with the sudden faith in foreigners? Not sudden. It has nothing to do with faith. It's about respect. Everyone in this profession deserves that much. And drop the Martyr Act. I'm sure KPGA bureaucracy is a part of why you're off for CHB Renown. I knew it. I'm not saying anything like that, but they cut me ahead of others that I know contribute less. Piss someone important off? Not that I know of. I was Locke's practice partner all throughout his XSL run. Consider me impressed. Shame about the finals, though. Why didn't Locke stick up for you? I doubt he'll find a better practice partner. I glance away and rub the back of my head. If only I had the answer to that question. Do you want to go for a walk? I think we should just practice. We will. Later. You'll see where we're going. Slowly but surely, I start to recognize the sound of our shoes against the concrete. Won't it be crowded? Not likely. We turn into an outdoor shopping mall with real estate signs littering every patch of grass come to stop before a gutted forefront. And I thought cram schools were on the rise. Try to remember how terribly this place was managed. We're lucky that it was. Jet steps forward, ducking under some yellow tape to test the door. Bold, but I don't think it used her pull in. With a mischievous look back, she steps inside. Not to be left behind, I follow Jet's lead and quickly find myself shoulder to shoulder with her. We might as well have spent our nights here on StarCraft instead, at least in your case. Just mine. We turned into an empty room, its carpet floor stripped bare in places. Oh, this is the title screen. Jet breaks from my side and strides to the center, hands set on her hips. Every night I spent in this room scared me. When something didn't make sense or I got a bad grade, I prayed for the day when I could make my own path. You did. I did. You did too. And we both failed. Silence. Jae-young's smile is there, but there's nothing behind it. I can't stop thinking, what if? It's practically all I can think about these days. You act tough, but I know you feel the same way. We're behind, all for some stupid esports dream. But you wouldn't take it back. I was ready to, then you had to show up. That's not true. You've been hiding. Trust me, I've been trying to convince myself not to repeat my mistakes. Can you spend another year this way and call yourself happy? Only one person gets to win a Start League. Do 31 others go home unhappy? That's the world we live in. You are incredibly lucky to know that because of StarCraft. I just can't show good games for the rest of my life and be satisfied. But you'll try again anyway. I will, because I want this, because I still believe I can make it work. She extends a hand, eyes veiled behind her bangs. I reach to renew our pact with a shake. To us, future champions. To this esports dream. They said the thing. Oh, that's us. As kids. Oh, that's cool. Aw. I spend another morning as an outsider in my own room. A brief consideration of returning to my parents' place ends when I notice my pained face in the mirror. The chance of interacting with them comes with the chance of discovering my situation. There's no way I'm going to give them that satisfaction. I brought very little when I moved into CHB Renowned Team House. The contents of my single cardboard box reflect that. My parents were always preoccupied with what they owned or could own. At the time, I was glad to be free of that. A knock sounds at my door. I don't remember telling Jet exactly where I was living. Yeah? Hi. Hello? I need to print something and can't get the printer to work. Can you help me? Sorry to hear that. You should probably ask the landlady. I think her room is on the first floor. I did. She's not there. Or if she's there, she won't answer the door. Please. I have to print this essay or I'm dead. Really? Dead. Will you just take a look? Fine. Show me. She leads me down to the hallway to the right, opposite way from the stairwell. I'm gonna turn on the light. We emerge in a shared common area fit with the kitchen, washing machines, and other standard necessities. Among them is the printer in question, open to reveal its guts. Here, I can't make it work. It has paper, it has ink. I don't know the issue. You're printing from a PC in your room, I'm guessing? Which printer are you sending it to? I point out the brand on the side of the machine. She squints forward and tilts her head to read it. That's not 2PDF. Could it be on a different floor? It's all I can do to keep from smashing my palm against my forehead. That option may be in English, but there's no excuse for a Korean high schooler. I quickly fill her in on her mistake. If she feels any embarrassment, she veils it well. 1 second. Steps down the hall and into the door adjacent to mine. Less than a minute later, the printer grinds to life and spews a half-dozen pages on post-war history. It's well written and researched as far as high school history papers go. She returns by the time it's finished printing, relieved. Are you bad with computers? Not at all. I'm extremely online, actually. I'm just tired, I think. It'll be over before you need it. That's all you needed, yeah? Yeah, thanks for helping me. I'm Yuna. Seunghwan, I recognize that uniform. You're a high schooler. You're not? No, I graduated last year. Then why are you here? Sorry, never mind. I take up around the tacit offer to not explain my situation. I prefer that as few people would know that Protoss player Bolt was kicked from his team, at least until I'm back on the KPGA squad. She wanders away as we share a farewell, her papers held together messily under her arms. One good deed done for the day. Time to spend the rest of it grinding StarCraft. Mincio won't be at the PC bang until school's out, but I might be able to find Shay Young. I pop my head through the door and peek to find Golden Zone Fire mostly empty, with no sight of Jet. Maybe I'll grab an early lunch and find you here when I return. I'll have to start practice soon either way. But before I can leave, a voice in the cafe calls for my attention. Young man, come here for a moment. When I see the clerk beckoning for me behind the counter, it's only after a pause that I take a few steps in the direction, buried in the hands of my pocket sweatshirt. You and that red-haired girl are pro gamers, aren't you? Who told you that? Those brightly colored jackets and the hammering you do to my keyboards. And you did, just now. What are two pro gamers doing in a PC bang? Don't you have a practice house or wherever the chaebol have you working from? Ah, interesting. On the contrary, she's a former pro gamer, not currently on a team. As for me, I'm in the same boat, so you're a bit off with that assumption, Smokes. That ain't my name. And I get it. Good luck to you both. Your cafe is just a random pick. You don't need to get involved with us. straightforward of you. Don't do anything that'll cost me any money or time, and that's a deal. Speaking of, if your friend hits another one of my paying customers with a keyboard, you two are done for. You're lucky those Q-sends are cheap and that I don't involve myself with the police. Right then. I'm going to... You're here early. Jet brushes past me and slaps a card onto the clerk's counter. Smokes takes it for a scan, then throws me a stern look when Young turns away. Once her time's added, I follow her to our setups. Got nowhere else to be. Is this all we have for today? Besides Ben and myself, the classroom is totally empty. Stares up at me annoyed. Probably not because I told him I was bringing snacks today. There's no food, is there? Where are Yang and Choi? Even Jae-hoon? I knew it. This is a waste of time. No good players, no one to learn from, and no food. Mincio, I quit. Ben, wait, what about club practice? What practice are you talking about? All you do is ramble about your favorite pro gamers week after week. Now you ask for practice? Let me guess, you want to play fastest possible BGH customs. I'm out of here. Without another word, Ben rises from his desk and storms off. I reach for my backpack and fumble through my books. It's only once that I'm sure I'm alone that I pull out my trusted confidant. I don't think anybody else is coming. What if they're running late? No one has time for a trivial club with the CSAT is looming. Also, you overheard them call StarCraft old and frustrating. I believe in second chances. It's time to face facts. Jae-young was the only reason StarCraft Club was popular. You can't sustain it with ego and snack lies. You don't know that. I fling the purple plushie across the room. It bonks against the bookshelf and plops to the ground sadly. Oh no, what have I done? I rush forward and scoop Mutt up into my arms. He's not broken or torn anything, but... I'm sorry. It's okay, Mincio. I know how you get. You don't have to only listen to me, you know. Why don't you consult Probe-kun? Oh, that's a good idea. What do you think, Probe-kun? Am I going to be able to keep the club together? Why do you always take Mutt's side? Oh no. Oh well. A visit with Jae-young and Sun Huang cheer me up. Going zone fire isn't too far from my school. I wouldn't mind the walk even if it was. It's not like I have anything else to do except for study for tests that everyone says will single-handedly determine my future. It'd be so cool if you could study hard, study StarCraft in school, but I'd probably make a bad grade. Jed is amazing. She cruised through school and pro gaming at the same time. I never saw her study ever, which means she must have aced everything without trying. Bolt 2. Pro gamers are so cool. I wish I was talented like them. Right there! That's her! I turned to find that guy from yesterday staring at me. Behind him, a bunch of guys wearing matching school uniforms watch on. One of them steps past the crowd and stands right in front of me. Way too close if I'm being honest. He's really tall, so I have to stare up to look at him. What's your name, girlie? I'm Mincio Kim. Nice to meet ya. I spin and hurry to make my favorite pose, but not as cheerfully as I'd like to. The guy doesn't look happy to see me. You know you're on our turf, don't you? Turf? What's he talking about? Soccer field is that way, if that's what you mean. A few of the guys behind him laugh at my answer for some reason. After throwing a stare back to silence them, he cracks his neck and turns back to me. Very interesting. I kind of like doing different voices for each of these characters. So, if you enjoyed this video, also this is nail polish, this is not like Cheeto dust or anything like that. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead, give me one of these. Comment down below who's your favorite character, you know, of the funny voices that I do and all this other stuff. And, aside from that, if you enjoyed this, go ahead and hit subscribe. And aside from that, I'll see you all in the next episode. Toodles.